Let's start that again, because I still had the mic muted. I'm sure you heard most of it, though, even though there was no mic. Wow, what a start. My name is Lorcana Villain. Welcome. This is a very rare Baker live stream. It's a rare thing, but we try and do it when we can. I had this realization the other day that, wow, they have revealed a lot of cards from Reign of Jafar. I am super behind. I may need to turn my mic down a little bit. I look like I'm peaking a little bit. Let's be loud again, because I'm quite often up here. So I should never do a mic test when I'm just mumbling. This looks a little more reasonable. And what if I talk in a more relaxed tone? Could you hear me now? I certainly hope so. But yeah, I had this realization that I am super behind when it comes to Reign of Jafar card reveals. So I thought, why not just do a live stream and do as many of them as we can. I didn't even turn my light on, yo. I thought I was prepared for today, but apparently I was not prepared. I'm not living up to my mantra. But yeah, we're going to review as many of the Reign of Jafar cards as we can. Give me some feedback for audio. The music should still be hearable, but just sort of sitting underneath my voice. And inevitably, I will shout and peak from time to time, and I will try and respond to your feedback. But welcome on in, everybody. There is a poll at the moment with 17 votes to decide what ink we should start with. I have reviewed nearly none of the cards. The only ones I've really talked about were ones that were associated with product images. So there's like a mini that we've talked about, and a Pinocchio, and a few other things. But the vast majority of the set we are yet to look at. So it should be. I don't think we're going to get through everything today, but going to try to at least put a dent in it. So yeah, make sure you vote in the poll. We'll be starting in a few minutes to let me know which ink combination you would, which ink colour. Well, there's some of them are combinations because we got dual inks. Which one you would like to see me start with? But welcome on in. We've got 21 people up in here. Hello, Lorcana Empress. Hello, James Lundy. Loving the CM Punk top. Of course, best in the world. What up, Disney Nerd? What up, Bearded Cat? Do you have a Discord by chance? I do not. You commented that on one of my videos recently. And I did say, no, unfortunately I do not. It is a plan eventually, but it's likely to be a members only thing. I'm going to say that up front. But you're welcome to send me off an email, lorcanavillain@gmail.com, and I will certainly take a look. We've got James Lundy with a £5 super chat. Yo, I think that's my first ever super chat while actually being live. That's kind of crazy. I've had a couple of thank you tips in the past. It was always usually for the Ultra Data projects that I would do. I would get a couple of tips, and I was very grateful for them. And then my video I released a couple of days ago, which I will talk about a little bit about that, not in too much detail, but we will get back to that. But a couple of people left tips on that, which was a big surprise, but very much appreciated. But James Lundy, I think you're the first one to do it while I'm actually live, so thank you very much. I appreciate you. Start the stream off strong. Yes, by being muted. That is how we start. But welcome on in. Great to see you. Do please hit the like button for me to support the stream. Try and spread the reach of the word of Baker. That might not be a good, or that could be a good or bad thing, but if you're feeling villainous, let's spread the word. But yeah, we're going to be talking all about the Reign of Jafar. I have loaded up, if I did my job correctly. Let's see. The Mushu report gives us the news that we need. So let me switch to this one. Oh, look at my little thing to go for my transition. That's the word I was looking for. I think it's pretty cool. Shout out to Lewis who made that for me. Friend of the channel, but personal friend. Played D&D with Lewis. In fact, to be honest, I know Lewis a lot because I'm running a D&D game that I've been running for about 3 years now. And it's been a lot of fun. And my friend Lewis is playing a character called Captain Sparks, who's kind of like kind of Jack Sparrow-esque. No one knows exactly why he's called a captain, but every port he goes into, everybody knows who he is. It's like, Captain Sparks, yep, good to see you, oh, you old rascal. And the party don't know his full backstory, but just everyone seems to know. He's got a bit of a reputation, as it were. Anyway, I've killed him. It wasn't my fault. The gang went into a temple where all sorts of spooky voodoo was going on. I won't get into the lore, we'll be here all day. But basically, there was my D&D world equivalent of a blue eyes white dragon, and Captain Sparks got. So that's all I'm saying about that. But anyway, that's enough fluff to start off with. We're going to be doing a lot of card reviews today. Again, this is all first impressions. So I'm going to go back to the poll. If you've not already voted, do please go and do so. But it's seeming like a foregone conclusion. At 20 votes, we got 45% are saying start with Ruby or I like it. You know the ink colours I like. Amethyst and Emerald both 25% each. Only 5% for Sapphire. I think the community they are done with Sapphire. They've had enough. They've had enough. So I think we're going to end the poll right there. And we are going to start with Ruby. Give me a moment. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee. Yes, it is 9:39 PM in the UK, and I'm drinking coffee. Don't judge me. Leave me alone. I do also have water, so I'm balanced, as all things should be. But we're going to start off with Ruby. Try and make it start to put a dent in the reviews for Reign of Jafar, a set that, if you didn't know, I'm sort of crazy excited for. Jafar's Reign. I hope you're all planning to vote for Jafar, by the way. Ruby Amethyst, best deck, let's go. Yo. You said it, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not agreeing either. We got to see. Time will tell. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Ruby cards. So that puts us up here. I have already looked at this one, but we'll quickly mention it. Penelope von Schweetz. Let's just make sure that in Streamlabs you're seeing what I want you to be seeing. Yes, you are. Although there's a delay, which definitely shouldn't be there. I'm very confused by that. Why is there a delay? I didn't add a delay to the stream. That is strange. Let me refresh, because there shouldn't be a delay here. I nearly started the stream with a delay, but I double checked. I did, and there was a delay, but I took it off before we started, is the point. Okay, we're Gucci. So we've got Penelope von Schweetz. Again, I've talked about this one, but not a lot to say here. 2 cost thinkable, 3, 1 quest for 1 evasive. This is a reskin for Pegasus, which is going to firmly put Pegasus #1 on my list of cards that I do not think will be rotated, because this Penelope is filling the exact same role. Of course, there's always a difference. This is the racer tag characterization, which there are some cards that synergize with racers, and just again being called Penelope von Schweetz, there might be some lovely shift options. So yeah, Penelope is sort of like Pegasus was being played for Diablo, so this is a perfectly reasonable card to think could be a meta response. Next up we got Brutus. I'm a big fan of this. Of the new way they are portraying like larger pieces of art depicted across multiple cards, taking off the border where necessary. I can imagine it's probably going to take a little bit of getting used to when it comes to actually playing them, but I love it from the perspective of being able to put these cards in your binder. And yeah, let me know in chat, what do you think about this new design to show art across different cards? But nonetheless, great to see Brutus in the game, along with his crocodile brother that we'll get to in a moment, Medusa's Crocs. He's identical to Nero in cruelty and classiness, just like me, chat. Just saying. Focus thinkable 4/3 quest for 1 during your turn when this character is banished. If one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. This is not an awful ability. Has to be banished during your turn. Isn't the worst, either because we made a challenge or we put damage on the Brutus. Ruby has plenty of cards that do damage to me to do something to you. So there's ways that we can get this off. And if one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. I don't know if it counts the damage from... If you challenge and are banished from that challenge, from the damage you took, does this trigger? Or does the damage need to have been done before this banishment happens? I'm actually not 100% sure there. If anyone knows, or if you are speculating, then please tell me that you're speculating in chat. During your turn when this character is banished, if one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 2. I always think, when I see things like this, I think about it in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is wrong, just because like during an attack in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's multiple steps. There's like battle step, into a damage step. There might be blooming more at this point in time, who knows. So I don't know if it sees that the damage that it takes from the challenge as a trigger for this. If you challenge and it gets damaged and then banished, I believe it works, since the damage applies first and the character is banished. That would be my guess. Well, thank you for at least telling me that it is a guess. I would imagine so too. We'll come back to him. And we would be silly, I believe, to not immediately just go to his partner, but is he... Oh, is the partner not in Ruby? Okay, so we'll come back to the partner. We've got the Dodo, for who I'm going to need a translation for this. Let's click here. The Dodo, outlandish storyteller, just like me. And there I was in the cave beneath the palace, when suddenly sand trickled down. Did I stop? No, what a little sand. I don't know if that's a great voice for the Dodo. 3 cost Dingable, 0/6 quest for 1. This character gains +1 strength for each damage on them. So, this is definitely a, like, we've talked a lot in the past about cards that like you to have damage on you. We have ways of doing that. Teeth and Ambitions, that will be rotated out. And by the way, I'm talking about most of these cards based on before rotation, because it's going to be World Championship format. But of course, if we think something is worth mentioning concerning the rotation, then we can do. But yeah, right at the beginning, we have Teeth and Ambitions, we have the Scar. A few cards now, especially in Reign of Jafar, that do self-damage. So if we are running a deck that's playing into that sort of strategy, then this, at the moment, like if there's space, seems like a pretty reasonable beat stick to include. Obviously, you know, if you can get this up to 2, 3, 4, 5 strength, then that's great. But if nothing else, just because it's got that 6 willpower, that big pool that you can put multiple self-damage effects onto. So, depending on how that deck ends up looking and how much space is available, this might be a quite reasonable 3 cost. The Crocodile's Amethyst. Thank you, Bearded Cat. If it works like that, it would be pretty much be when this is banished, gain 2 lore, which would be mad. Dodo is Big Queen of Hearts. Big Queen of Hearts. Yeah, like the 2 cost. Yeah. Yeah, it essentially is just a slightly bigger Queen of Hearts. But I think Queen of Hearts into Crab is much more relevant than this into Crab. I don't think Queen of Hearts gets replaced in like Ruby Amethyst. I think this Dodo is specifically for those self-damaging decks that we want to take advantage of various effects. There's a Racket Ralph from a previous set that says when it's ready, you gain lore equal to the damage on him. And there's a couple of cards in this set which we'll hopefully get to today who have interesting effects that include self-damage. So this could be interesting. It could end up having a place in that sort of deck. Next up we got Lumiere, Sacre Bleu. This is no way to treat a guest in your palace. Lumiere, Nimble Candelabra, 2 cost Digable, 1/1 quest for 2. While you have an item card in your discard, this character gains Evasive. I think for a Ruby Sapphire items deck, this is pretty good. Not sure you ever include this in a deck that's just benefiting from like 0 to 4 items if there's a reasonably playable item. But I think if you're playing like a Ruby Sapphire full-on item deck, like a workshop sort of build, then this is alright. Like the 1/1 is obviously, you know, it dies to a gust of wind. But if it is an assured 2 cost 1/1 quest for 2, I think it's alright. Like we do have quite a few low cost evasives already. Let's do a quick looky-see of evasives in Ruby or around this sort. Yeah, I mean like, yeah, not a lot. I quite like this Lumiere. It's going to depend on where the meta sits, right? Because obviously if steel is too prominent, then it probably isn't worth it. But depending on it, like if there's not a lot of steel in meta, I could see this being reasonably good. Also, obviously falls to things like Sisu, but I'm kind of interested in this Lumiere. Is the music a tad too loud for anyone else? I will turn it down. Thank you for the notes. Right, that's me adjusting the music. Let me know if that's sitting a little bit better. Thank you for the feedback. Yep, cool. The people are agreeing, so no worries. Let me know if that's better. Stressing about my first set championships. Any tips? Freaking out and looking for cards to replace all the time. My first bit of advice, if you're stressing about it, would be to stop replacing cards. I think you need to, like, and again, this is easier said than done, otherwise you wouldn't be constantly replacing cards if it was as easy as just sticking to something. But it is the best advice I can give you. Like, whether it's a matter of whatever that deck looks like now, take a look at it, allow yourself, like, one more like set of changes, like look at it all, but once you finalize those changes and you walk away, like put it in the deck box, put it in the bag and just move on. just because you like that's what's stressing you out more is the fact that you keep making changes and you're overthinking it too much. I would also say in this last sort of few changes that you make here, oh, I had a little ping there. What happened? FOK just subscribed. Thank you very much, FOK. Appreciate you. I should make that box a little higher, I dare say. So yeah, in that, like when you go and do these last few changes, don't try and beat everything. Don't think, oh, I've got to beat this and this and this and this and this and this. Like, it's reasonable to go, okay, I have got cards to beat this, this and this, and I probably cry if I see this or this and this. Like, that's kind of, sometimes you just have to high roll your matchups. So I would say stop making, like, go back to the deck right now, make whatever last changes you want to try and, like, feel as happy as you can, but then walk away and don't come back to it. One tip for set champs is to play something you're comfortable with. That's also a great tip. So yeah, the chat seemed to agree. We've got 30 people up in here. Thank you so much for joining us for some card reviews, trying to put a dent in them. So yeah, Lumia I think is kind of interesting. Next up we got Mushu, fast talking dragon. Let's see if I can find my Mushu voice. Move? There's no time to explain. Well, maybe a little time, so listen up. I definitely can't do it justice, but shout out to Mushu. We were screaming for Mushu for months, and now we get loads. You'll love to see it. 3 cost thinkable, 2/3 quest for 1. Let's get the show on the road. Exert chosen character gains rush this turn. Too slow, I'm afraid. I don't think we have any Floodborn Mushus. If we do, then I think this is our cheapest Mushu. Straight away, this ability screams to me too slow, unfortunately. So moving on. We've got Lafayette, but that's definitely not the English name. This is what's his name? It is Lafayette, Sleepy Basset Hound. Oh, it's Aristocats. It's Aristocats. What have we got in the kitchen for, Napoleon? There's no scarabs around here. Call me when there's something serious to take care of. I don't know if that voice is good. I haven't seen the Aristocats in a long time. Mr. Chip has just become a member. Shout out to you, Mr. Chip. You know, when I hear Mr. Chip. Justin Harriman has just become a member. Bad gold, guys! Bad gold! Bad gold! I want to tell you something. We've had memberships on the. I'm gonna gush a little bit here. Let's go to full screen. Wait, someone else did it. Someone else did something. Johnny May has become a member. They all be coming. I need to copy my alert box over to the other page if I'm gonna have a mushy moment. It's what is happening? The zoologist has become a member, guys. You're kind of blowing my mind right now. I need to copy this alert box into this chat. Copy paste, you fiend. There we go. It's there. Yeah, like we've had memberships live on the channel for like a year now. And in that, by the end of that, sort of like before 3 days ago, we'd got to 15 members, and shout out to you 15 members, all the love in the world, huge appreciation. And then literally, like off the back of the video that I released a couple of days ago, we doubled it, like overnight. And that included, like I have 3 different tiers, $2.99, $7.99 and $24.99. With no perks, by the way. 1 perk, 1 video, which I'm going to improve in the future. But I've always been transparent about, hey, like, there might not be many member perks. Please only do this if you can afford it and you just want to support. Excuse me. And then, yeah, after that video, and the mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing support for that, which far exceeded any expectations I'd possibly had for it. And yeah, we literally doubled them. And yeah, like my one and only top tier member, £25 a month member, has been for the longest time the GOAT, Zach Bivens. Shout out to you, Zach Bivens. I love you very much. And we gained 3 more for top tier, and just like we doubled our members. And then that's another 4 or 5 right there. So I just want to say, guys, I love you to bits. Oh, there we gifting memberships. We gifted. It's player 0. Guys, player 0. Okay, guys, I gotta give you some context. Player 0 is a supporter from years ago for my old channel, Baker Bulbasaur. my Pokemon channel, and Player Zero was a big supporter of that channel, and I haven't seen this man in a long time. Hello, Player Zero. Shout out to you, man. How the heck are you doing? That is super, super kind of you, man. Genuinely really kind of you. Lafayette, 5 cost 7/4. He's a big boy. Like, if we ever need a big beat stick, and hey, 5's a pretty significant number for Lorcana. I've talked about Thumper before. I think this Exert to gain 3 strength ability. I'm not saying I think this card is good, but I think at some point there'll be a really cheesy combo that this will be a potential part of to help enable. Thank you, TMCG1990, for following the channel. So yeah, I think there could be a really cheesy combo involving this Thumper. Like, we've got the Maximus, who, if you've got a character with 2 strength or more at the end of your turn, then you gain like 6 lore. I'm not sure if he's rotating out or not, but even if he is, then we get it for 3 months. Maybe he's not rotating out. Maybe we get different cards in the future that just give you busted effects if you can get a character up to a big enough strength. So this Thumper, I think, for that reason, could be really interesting. We've got Shatine has become a member. Again, I'm trying to differentiate between the gifted subs and the rest. But shout out to you, Player Zero. You're an absolute hero, man. Player Zero is a madman. He's going, man is going crazy. Man is going crazy. We're going to try and keep some momentum on these card reveals. We'll come back to the duel links. We've got friend Owl, Cankerous Neighbor. This is from Winnie the Pooh, right? Sand? In the forest? I'll bet some magical miscreants up to no good. Well, it's none of my concern. I'm going back to bed. And thank you, Player Zero, for becoming a henchman yourself. Honestly, huge shout out to you, mate. Yeah, 2 cost 2/2, questing for 2. Nothing spectacular. If this is a shift target for something, then cool. We've got Phaline. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen Bambi in the hottest of minutes. The absolute hottest. Oh, mate, I didn't switch back. I'm an idiot. I got blown away by all the gifted memberships. Thank you again, Zero. Yeah, sorry, Bearded Cat, I wasn't showing you the cards. Apologies, I'll just do that again quickly. I mentioned Lafayette, yeah, he's a big boy. Thumper, I think this ability could enable some cheesy combo in the future, you never know. Nothing spectacular here other than maybe being a shift target. And now we're on Feline. 4 cost uninkable, 2/4, evasive, and Precocious Friend. While you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, this character gets +2 lore. This is a pretty interesting ability, kind of like remind you of something like a Flynn, that by having the biggest body on the board, you're going to get extra lore. This character needs to quest for it. It's an interesting ability. 4 cost uninkable, like off the top of my head, I think is probably a bit slow, and just being uninkable, I think really hurts it, unfortunately. But yeah, just double checking that we are indeed off of the full face screen and onto the proper what you should be seeing. So yeah, interesting card. I think it's too slow and uninkable. We've got Nothing We Won't Do. 8 cost inkable, sing together 8, ready all your characters. For the rest of this turn, they take no damage from challenges and can't quest. I mean, like, if you think of cards like the Queen, Jealous Beauty, who have the... It is an exert ability, right? She's not on quest, is she? She's exert, or am I being an absolute fool and it's on quest? I think it's on exert. I'm pretty sure it's on exert. Yeah, it's on exert. Okay, good to hear. Cards like that, and if we get other things, like again, I mentioned earlier, the Wreck-It Ralph, that whenever it readies, you gain lore. Is there not a bolt that helps you gain lore when you ready characters as well? The Amber Steel one? Whenever you ready this character, gain 1 lore for each other undamaged character you have in play. Yeah, so there are cards that have, like, obviously ways of gaining lore when you ready, or just things like the Queen, who have lore jump abilities built into an exert. So if we've got enough of those in Ruby, then perhaps this enables some sort of cheesy combo. But other than that, I don't see it being a particular meta card. Again, maybe it enables some sort of fun deck. We got Twitter Patted. 1 cost inkable, chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. I mean, You Can Fly saw like no play, and that was on a song. Admittedly, this is cheaper. I don't think you ever play this. I think you just play evasive characters to be your answer. I am so in love with this art. Should we show the Cheshire Cat? Bro, I need to sort out what's going on here. I got that. For those that don't know, I got I got the... Oh, I am not doing a good job of aiming this. There we go. There's the Cheshire Cat. Ooh, sketchy. No. So I'm quite fond of the Cheshire Cat. Most everyone's mad here. 7 cost uninkable action, bag gold. Gain lore equal to the damage on chosen character, then banish them. So obviously there's a high roll here. We talked earlier about some of the cards that do self-damage or gain abilities, gain perks from having damage on them, like this Dodo, the 2-cost Queen of Hearts that we've already got in the game, a variety of things like that. So if we can get like a big butt, just a huge butt, and we can put a load of damage on that butt, and then we play Most Everyone's Mad here, and we banish that butt and gain 5, 6, 7 lore. It's a nice stream. I think this being 7 cost uninkable action for a one-time use hurts it. Like, obviously, like, it's kind of akin to Dime, right? Except Dime remains on the board. Admittedly, you have to, like, you pay the 7 and then you have to exert and pay 2. So it technically costs 9 if you want to benefit from Dime on the turn you put it down. But then it stays on the board and it stays as a threat, whereas this is just a one and done. It is interesting. Like, if there is a deck that is pretty good, that has a lot of these self-damage cards, and they're running some big old butts, I could maybe see this being a one-off, depending on our uninkable count. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, if the deck is there, then this at a 1 count could have a lot of high roll potential. To be honest. If I was gonna go one way or the other, I would say no. But who knows? Like, as a one-off, maybe in a cheesy deck, it's most likely a fun deck as opposed to anything meta. But we will see. Like, I would definitely put this in a maybe column. Next up, we got the Sword of Shan Yu, and the most exciting thing about this card is the confirmation of Shan Yu coming to Lorcana. I am so excited. Absolute peak, top tier villain. 1 cost inkable item. Exert this item. Exert one of your characters. Ready chosen character. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. So the items obviously don't need to be dry. Items can pay cost the turn you put them down. But characters cannot exert as a cost unless they are dry. So just to be clear, the part of this that says exert one of your characters, you cannot do this on something with dry ink. Because it's the exert symbol, it always counts as a cost, and a character has to be dry to play a cost. And then, for your trouble, you can ready a chosen character. It's super slow, it's super situational. Again, if we are building all around these decks that love to re-ready our characters and we get busted abilities for doing so, maybe this can end up being a part of it. The other saving grace of this is just the fact that it's a 1-cost item. So if we are playing a red-blue item deck and it's inkable, we could probably justify it. Definitely a lot more before rotation. Who knows after rotation. I don't think this is a great card, but it's something that in a red-blue item deck, if there ends up being like a really nice, like, potential niche situation here, then who knows? I don't think it's replacing things like Fortisphere, but 1-cost inkable item in itself, those are interesting things to say. This can be used to bypass the bodyguards as well. That's also really interesting. That's also a really good point. Like, it can be chosen characters. So you ready a bodyguard, you ready a Diablo, so before you're about to draw a bunch of cards. And there's cards in format like Pete, who while exerted stop you singing songs. You're probably not singing many songs with a red-blue deck. But there are some extra niche use cases. And I think for like readying a Diablo is probably one of your better reasons there. So very nice point there. Who was it that mentioned that? Adam C. Yeah, good point there, mate. I see you. But yeah, I'm just excited for Shan Yu coming to the game, and that's all the regular Ruby cards. Let's do the Dual Link ones that are here. We got Red Blue LeFou Cake Thief, 2-cost inkable 2/2, quest for 1, and all for me. Exert, banish one of your items. Chosen opponent loses 2 lore. Sorry, loses 1 lore. God, that would be very different. It was -2/+2. Exert, banish one of your items. Chosen opponent loses 1 lore, and you gain 1 lore. It's not an awful ability, but I am underwhelmed. I'm not sure we're ever doing this over turn 2 ramp. Post rotation, I don't know. Who knows what the red-blue item deck is going to end up looking like. If you were going to make me guess, I'd say I don't think this is going to be part of the meta anytime soon. And we've got... This is from Pinocchio, but I can't remember his name. The Coachman, Greedy Deceiver. Anyone else in the boat with me that, like, the Pleasure Island scene from Pinocchio is, like, one of the most traumatizing Disney scenes of all time? Of all time. Sip of coffee. Let's have a sip of coffee. But great to see him in the game. Ruby Steel, 2-cost Ingold 2/2 quest for 1. And Frenzied Rush. While you have 2 or more exerted characters, this character gets +2 strength and evasive. Okay. It's not a bad ability, becoming a potential 4/2 with evasive for a 2-cost. Problem is, the 2, like, if it was just you have to have 2 other characters on board, this would be so much better, right? Because you just curve out. You go 1, you play this on 2, and then on turn 3, now your Coachman is immediately online with this ability. But you would have to wait until at least turn 4 to then turn your character sideways, and I'm not sure this is an okay ability. I'm not sure if it's good enough for being that slow, so I do not have high hopes for the Coachman. I'm sorry, sir. Next up, we got Mulan charging ahead. Ruby Steel, 4-cost uninkable 3/3. Quest for 9. She be reckless. Burst of speed. During your turn, this character gains evasive. Pretty good. At long range, this character can challenge ready characters. So, those are pretty good abilities. It's not many. It's not many, I can tell you that much. This Li Shang, this Mulan, gives that ability to other characters, and obviously is a shift option for this. Arthur can give it to someone else. Cinderella stout-hearted after singing songs. Namari is the last character of this cost that we got that has this ability, and Namari never saw play. This is, you have to be playing both Ruby and Steel. The 3/3 stat line is better, especially when we've still got Brawl, and hey, maybe Brawl gets reprinted. And obviously the extra ability to give evasive is pretty relevant. Maybe 4-cost is a bit too expensive. It is also a shift target for your bigger Mulan. I think in a fun Ruby Steel deck, where you're like really playing into this Mulan engine, then I think this Mulan is a 1 or a 2 of. Not convinced it's a meta card outside of that, unfortunately. We've also got Get Out, 6-cost uninkable, Ruby Sapphire, banish chosen character, then return an item card from your discard to your hand. This is pretty interesting. Dragonfire already has been seeing some niche play along with Shark, and we're not losing Shark, as far as I know. Pretty sure we're not losing Shark. Almost certain we're not, because it came out like 2 sets ago, right? Came out like Azeroth Sea, if I'm correct. Yep, Azeroth Sea. So, Shark's staying. Who knows if we get a reprint of Dragonfire. Obviously, this is 1 more expensive. But being able to return an item from your discard to your hand, you need to assume if it's a Ruby Sapphire item-heavy build, then that is going to be a relevant effect, right? Even if you're just getting back Porpsicles before rotation, and who knows what other cheap items we're going to get. So in the Ruby Sapphire items deck, I don't know how good that deck ends up being, but I feel like as a one-off maybe, this seems like a part of it. Would you play this in just red-blue Shark, like a DKP list? Not before rotation. I think you'd just go Dragonfire after rotation. Maybe as a one-off. So I think it could have some niche uses, but nothing groundbreaking overall. I guess we can look at this Ruby Emerald one here. We've got Undermine. 2-cost incoming action. Chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Chosen character gets +2 strength this turn. I think this is pretty good. for Ruby Emerald. Especially if you're on the draw and they've got something like a Daisy and you were able to stick down a body with at least 2 strength. So they go Daisy, you go 1 drop. They play a character, quest the Daisy, and then on 2 play this, so you can take out the Daisy and make them discard. And obviously, Emerald has a lot of good discard stuff as it is. In Ruby Emerald, I could see this having some niche use. Again, it all depends on how good Ruby Emerald ends up being, which is traditionally not great. But in a Ruby Emerald deck that you're going to build, I think there could be some use here. Excuse me. The only way I think I need to refresh the stream. Shout out to everyone up in here. Do please hit the like button. If you haven't already, it helps tremendously. Absolutely tremendously. You would not believe. And that's all the Ruby cards, other than maybe some Duel Links that we might have missed. So I'm gonna pop to the loo, but before I do so, I am going to put another poll. Which ink? And let's put Amethyst. Let's put Steel. Let's put Bobbing Along on the bottom of the beautiful Brizzy Sea. What film is that from, my guys? I will hope for an answer when I return. Bobbing along, singing a song on the bottom of the beautiful Brizzy Sea. What film's that from? Let me know. I'll back in a sec. Any takers? Any takers? Disney nerd knows what it is. It's Bedknobs and Broomstick. The one with the walking bed, right? That's it. Bedknobs and Broomstick. Hey, what's up? What's up, Fidget? Disguised as Connor up here in chat. Guys, the Connor TK, that's Fidget in disguise. My very good friend and tech wizard. Without Fidget, you would not be getting... you would not have had any of the gameplay videos that have been on the channel. And there's another one of those going up tomorrow, me versus Harlan Sweet. So quite the video, but yeah, none of those would happen without Fidget. So if you appreciate those videos, then show some love to Fidget. Right, what one? We're going with Amethyst, 60% of the vote. All right, you gotta give the people what they want. You gotta give the people what they want. So far, which color do you guys think is the best for set 8? I mean, we shall see. I will make my final verdict at the end. Alright, let's go back and do Amethyst. I've already looked at this one. Palace card, 1 cost, 1/4, quest for 1, vanish keyword, and illusion. But obviously, I'm very excited for illusions. And there's a couple of Jafars that would synergize and have abilities that illusions trigger. There aren't that many illusions, so if you are playing an illusion deck, I imagine this is part of it. It's not for certain. It may be like a much tighter package. But due to the lack of illusions we have, I would not be surprised if this is a simple 1-drop for them. So I love the Palace card. Maybe we should just look at all of the... No, it's a bit too complicated. Let's just do Amethyst just in a row. Next up, we got Ruby Amethyst, Madam Medusa, Deceiving Partner. This art is like top tier, mate. Sneaky, sneaky disguise, of course. Fidget. Deceiving Partner, 3 cost inkable, 3/3 quest for 1. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to return chosen character with cost 2 or less to their player's hand. This is kind of interesting, and again, we've talked already quite a lot, and I feel like we will continue to refer back to this Ruby Amethyst concept of putting damage counters on your, doing damage to your own characters to get specific effects. Cost 2 or less is not completely insignificant depending on where the meta lies, especially if you're on the play. And even on the draw, this can be good. If you are building a deck where you need a lot of these cards that do self-damage, I think this seems immediately like a pretty good one. 3 cost inkable and a 3/3 stat line. So I don't know how good this is overall, But if you are building that self-damage deck, then I'd be shocked if this Madame Medusa isn't a part of it. And who knows, maybe it ends up being even better than that. This Hades! Wait. Wait. So hopefully you just heard the Zelda sound effect, even though I didn't hear it. But I think it was meant to come out. That Zelda effect is meant to infer that we've had some treasure here. We've had a chest, my guys. We got Hades, Ruthless Tyrant, 7-cost uninkable, 3/6 quest for 2, and short on patience. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to draw 2 cards. So in that self-damage deck, this is 100% a part of it. Outside of that self-damage deck, I still feel like this is pretty good, to be honest. It's Flavisham's ability. It's Flavisham's ability in Ruby Amethyst, but you need to be able to do 2 damage to one of your characters. The fact that it says another chosen character is a bit of a shame. You can't put the damage on himself, but I understand. But I don't think, 7-cost uninkable is obviously super bad. But I think this ability is so good, the fact that it's assured, as long as you've got a character on board, and that character can be banished, you could pop a Diablo and draw a card for the Diablo and the 2 cards for this ability. I think it's quite reasonable for Ruby Amethyst to have some board sitters, some rabbits, some genies, some Diablos, some queens, some Kuzcos. By turn 7, I don't think this is a hard requirement to fill. And I think the draw 2 from this ability, and potentially draw 3, depending on what you're popping, is significant enough card draw that I refuse to write this card off completely, especially when it is built into developing a body on the board that can then quest and progress your win condition. So, do we fit it in before rotation is the question. Probably not. While we still have rabbit bounce engines, and while we still have Be Prepared, please back gold, give us back Be Prepared. But that's a different conversation. But have we got room to run 4 Be Prep, 4 rabbit, maybe 2 ladies minimum, but maybe a 2/2 ladies, and these 1 or 2? Maybe. I do think this card draw is good enough, and once you've put this Hades on the board. If he survives to the next turn, as long as you've got a body on the board, or you've got the ink to put down a Diablo or something, then you're drawing an extra 2, maybe 3 cards just for him questing. It's not even eating into your ink. So he's slow at first, but then it just becomes oh, I'm questing anyway to progress my win condition, and now I'm going to draw a couple of cards because I had this body sitting on the board, and now I have even more options for my probably 8 ink turn. So yeah, I quite like this Hades. Maybe he doesn't make the cut before rotation, but I still think he could. I'm definitely going to be experimenting with this Hades. But after rotation, if we lose rabbits, like I assume we're going to, then this could end up being one of our better pieces of draw. So yeah, I'm a fan of this Hades very much. It's definitely my highest rated card so far. Next up, we've got an Amethyst Steel Dual Link. But this is an illusion. 6-cost inkable, 3/7, a boo, illusory. I have no idea. Poseidon? Poseidon. I have no idea. 3/7 quest for 1, that vanish keyword, and Grasping Trunk. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing character. Again, it's super situational, right? Because if they've got a character with a lot of lore, this is really good. Well, it's okay. It's expensive. And it's slow. If they have no characters, or 1 lore tops, then, even if, it's when he quests, right? So he still gets his own lore. So if there's a character on the opposing board with 1 lore, he's questing for 2. There's a high roll here, obviously, if they've got something questing for 2 or 3. He is unfortunately probably a bit too expensive. But there is a Jafar that says if you discard an illusion from your hand, then you can play it for free. So I dare say that this is a part of it. Pachyderm. Pachyderm. Pachyderm is what I'm being told. Illusory Pachyderm. Is that right? So yeah, bad on its own as part of the illusion deck. It's a big old body. If we're playing it for free, then I'm in. Is basically the point. Excuse me. Bruno Madrigal, single-minded, 4-cost inkable, 3/4 quest for 1, and standing tall. When you play this character, chosen opposing character can't ready at the start of their next turn. I'm not in the vision business right now. I'm in the stopping you business. It's alright. Like, it's not an insignificant ability. We've got an Elsa that does this, I think. It's fine. Doesn't immediately seem like a breakout card. Probably good in sealed and draft. Next up, we've got a non-English card. This is Royal Guard Octopus Soldier. 1-cost inkable, 1/2, quest for 1, and heavily armored. Whenever you draw a card, this character gains Challenger 1 this turn. I think this is a pretty interesting 1-drop, to be honest. Like, if you just let it sit, and then whether it's turn 3 or 4, sing friends, whenever you draw a card. Yeah, it would count for each one. And Challenger stacks. So if you play like a, if you play something like a Friends, then this is Challenger 2, essentially. So it's a 1-cost 3/2. It's alright. We have better 1-drops at the moment. Much better 1-drops in Amethyst. After rotation, we lose, it depends if we get Friends back, right? This is one to, put aside. When you're opening your Reign of Jafar, I'm not convinced before rotation it's anything interesting. In fact, I'd be shocked. But after rotation, who knows? We'll still have Diablo. I don't know. It's probably not good enough. It's a slightly interesting 1-drop. Where again, as well, especially if you're drawing more than just 2, like if you're playing Finders Keepers, then the challenge is going to stack even higher. And it triggers for card draw as well. Then we've got Ben Lovell in chat and Adam putting me right. You get it on the draw for turn. Okay, so that's already Challenger 1. And then, okay, so that's Challenger 3 if you play like Friends on turn 3. Something like that. I think this is pretty interesting, actually. Probably more hope for it after rotation, but this is one to keep an eye on. Like, when you're opening your Reign of Jafar, I would put your foils aside, because there's definitely some potential there. We've got Megara, part of the plan. 3-cost inkable, 2/5, quest for 1. The sooner we get this done, the sooner I'm free of you. And Contentious Alliance. While you have a character named Hades in play, this character gains Challenger 2. I love characters that specifically want other characters to be on the board. There's a few Elsa and Anna ones, like Peter Pan and Captain Hook have synergy. There's a couple, and there's a Lost Boy who you can play him cheaper if you've got a Peter Pan in play. Is it slightly? I think it's slightly. So I love this as a concept. This is only as good as the Hades that we're playing with it, which we were just looking at the 7-cost uninkable. Nah, we would need like a... I think I need to see a 2 or a 4-cost Hades in Amethyst that I already want to play to warrant playing this, but she's cool. We've got Yelena, Northundral Leader, 3-cost inkable, 2/3 quest for 2. We only trust nature. Is this Brother Bear? Because that's a film I haven't seen. When you play this character, chosen character gains Challenger 2 this turn. Okay. This is the first time I'm reading this, and worth mentioning a lot of these cards that this is going to be my first time. Okay. It's a budget crap. Because we're probably losing crap. This could be interesting, right? If the Challenger 2 is significant enough. And I think what really dictates if it is significant enough is if just 2 damage ends up being significant enough. Because really you want to pair this with your Diablo, right? Don't get me wrong, you can pair it with your Kuzco. And then you're hitting for 3. Diablo with Challenger 2 is only hitting for 2. So I think there's definitely some potential here. This ability is really strong. And questing for 2 is nice, even before rotation, while Brawl's in format. And who, again, I keep saying that, but we might get Brawl back, we don't know. But if you got the value off of the come into play ability, I think this card is actually pretty interesting, and post-rotation, I would immediately have quite high hopes because we know how good Challenger is. But again, it's going to depend on what number we need to be able to hit. If we need to be able to hit 3, then we probably need to play Kuzgos with it. If 2 is enough, then that with Diablo could be super good. Again, shout out to Zero, who gifted out a bunch of memberships earlier. Huge shout out to Zero. You'll love to see it. There's Mr. Chip flaunting his emojis. If you've got a membership, then let me see you spam those emojis in chat for a minute. Going on to Ryder, 4-cost Ingable, 3/4 quest for 1 with evasive. Fine. Good in sealed, because evasives are good in sealed. Questing for 1 is a little underwhelming for me. Already talked about this Bambi. Beautiful art. Love to see Bambi. This is only as relevant as the shift Bambi that we want to play on top of him, because I think this is our cheapest Bambi at the moment. How cheap's the Enchanted that was revealed in the art main stage the other day? Not sure. But nonetheless, I think that one's uninkable though. Anyway, this might be a good shift target, but that's probably about it. Going on to Podaspell, Majika's brother. 3-cost Ingable, 3/4 quest for 1. Sister dear, if we turn all the townspeople into frogs, who will give us our golden turnips? Not sure if that's a good voice for him or not, but I do really like this art, looking super dapper. Nothing to talk about here of interest, really. It's a pretty vanilla beat stick. We got this Pinocchio, which we reviewed half of in the past. There we go. Good to see all those Baker emojis in chat. We reviewed half of this because half of it was shown on the marketing image for a Palace Heist photo that we talked about. So we got to see half of it, and now we see it all. 4-cost Ingable, 0/4, quest for 2, evasive, and once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. So this is one of the... If this didn't have the once during your turn, this would be the sort of card that would make us go, okay, this is worth building around with cards that ready, like the Sword of Li Shang, and obviously we've already got cards like Le Fou. Unfortunately, the dev team are cowards. I'm joking, dev team. I'm joking. The cowards, they don't want to drawing too much from Pinocchio, and to be fair, it's probably the best decision. I think this is kind of interesting. Evasive especially, questing for 2. And it's inkable, like first class art as well. We got to say that, like Mission Impossible reference, and that was confirmed. Are we getting a cheap Mufasa for shift? I'm not sure, Teddy. Let us fight. Let us go forward, me and you, Teddy, into the abyss and find out for sure. But huge thank you to everyone that's become a member tonight. Big up Zero for the gifted memberships. I quite like this card. I think this has potential after rotation. And depending on if we keep Brawl and Sisu and what other cards we might get that banish characters with 0 or 1 strength. So it depends. But this is still inkable. I quite like this Pinocchio. I'm saying there's a chance. If this was a tier list, I'd probably be putting it in low A to high B in terms of potential. Next up, we have Bambi. This card, once Brawl is gone, is so goated. Yeah, once Brawl is gone, and like again, depending on, we might get Brawl effect on just a different card, like an item or a song, or okay, it could be the same card, but they just reskin it with a different name. Bambi Little Prince, 3-cost uninkable, 1/1, quest for 3. When you play this character, gain 1 lore. When an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand. Kind of bashful. Love the theming here. Like, this is an absolute theming win for the Lorcana team. Running away as soon as the opponent plays a character, right? It's interesting. Ultimately, I think being uninkable, like, super hurt, is the thing that hurts it the most. Because it's like, it kind of reminds me of Lilo Escape Artist. In the sense that if your opponent isn't able to keep developing bodies to the board, then Lilo just needs that one turn where they weren't able to play enough characters to, like, they weren't able to play a character to answer the Lilo, or maybe you have other threats that are, like, diverting their attention, and Lilo gets that one turn to quest because they needed to devote their challenges elsewhere. It just needs that one turn to, like, be worth it, and it presents this constant threat. And this Bambi kind of reminds me of that, because obviously if they are able to play a character, then you're not getting this lore. But at least it bounces back to your hand. And there's room for you to play out again and keep trying. If you can get to your point where your opponent is top decking and you're just waiting for them to hit a non-character card for this to get its value, like, I think there's some potential here, but I think the fact that it's uninkable is what is going to make this card pretty unplayable, unfortunately. I think if this was inkable, then there could be a chance, but as it stands, it's a really interesting ability. I really think it offers something akin to Lilo Escape Artist in terms of what it does, and it just needing that one turn for the free lore. But yeah, I think being uninkable super hurts it, but it's a really interesting card. And then the other half of the Crocodiles, Fearsome Crocodile Nero, 2 cost uninkable, 2/3 quest for 1. Exert, move 1 damage counter from this character to chosen opposing character. Interesting ability. Unfortunately uninkable. I think the other Crocodile is the better one, but again, great to see him in the game. Next up, we got Madam Mim Rhino. Let's friggin' go. Camilla Madrigal Legendary with this Bambi is 5 lore on turn 7. The Camillo is, yeah, is it like he exerts, and is it you discard a card and gain? No, the Hag is, the Queen is the one where you discard and gain lore equal to the cost. Yeah, I kind of know which Bruno you're talking about. He's uninkable. I think 7 cost, like 3/7 stat line. And you exert, gain them. No, you exert and you gain lore equal to another one of your characters. I think that's what it does, the one that you're talking about. Where is it? Not Bruno. I was calling it Bruno. You know what I meant. What's his name? What's his blooming name? Camillo. 6 cost 3/7. Yeah, I got the stat line right. Whenever this character quests, you may gain lore equal to the lore of chosen other character of yours. Return that character to your hand. Yeah, that's quite a nice, cute little combo. Yeah, that is quite a nice, cute little combo. Not sure if it's going to be a meta sort of deck, but definitely some fun to be had there. Madam Mim Rhino. Great to see the Rhino finally in the game. 6 cost uninkable, 6/5 quest for 1. Shift 2. I think our cheapest Madam Mim is a 2 cost. The little one on the broom, the little broom witch, yeah, 2 costs. Yeah, so I think we need to see a 1 cost before I remotely care about this 6 cost uninkable. That being said, like, shift 2, 6/5 beat stick. To be fair, like, it depends how it's as relevant as the song she can sing. I think, like, if we can get a 1 cost Madam Mim. But when you play this character, banish or return... No, but you can't do it that way, because you have to return another character to your hand. So you can't do it on turn 2. It would have to be on turn 3. Yeah, so you bear 1 cost, and then on turn 2, you play the Mim we currently have. Or if we get a 1 cost Mim, then you can do it the other way around. Because you still have to bounce something back to your hand. So that's a bit of a tempo loss. It's going to depend on what we can sing. If there is a really busted 6 cost song that we can sing with this, then I think it makes it worth it. Don't get me wrong, the 6/5 stat line is pretty tasty, and that in itself is not insignificant. But I think it's going to come down to what she can sing. 1 drop into Snake, turn 3, 1 drop, and shift this on turn 3. Yeah, that's another way of doing it. That is another way. 1 drop into Snake, turn 3, play 1 drop. Yeah, you bounce that. Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Turn 3 either way. Turn 3, 6/5 beat stick is pretty nice. Thing is, if you're maximizing your odds of that, like, how many of these are we playing, right? I think this becomes a lot better if there's a song that she can sing, which really is, like, game-changing. Requires too much play around being a shift 2, that's why it should be a shift 3. Yeah, we'll see. I think she's going to live and die by the songs. Mother Gothel knows what's best. Another incredible art. 2 cost uninkable, 1/3 quest for 1. And look what you've done! When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to give that character Challenger 1. And when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand this turn. I think this is pretty good. It is an uninkable, but this ability I think is pretty nice. Put the damage on something, and again, if it gains an ability from having that damage, like the dodo that we looked at earlier, Maybe it's gaining something from taking that damage, right? Gaining extra strength or something. It's going to depend where it fits on our curve, though, right? And even on a 1 cost, like a 0/4, it's going to depend what you can take out. Is it good enough giving it to a what? Like if you play an Olaf and then play this on 2, do 2 damage to the Olaf, and then it's hitting for 2. It's got 1 strength and then challenge a 1, and then can return to your hand if it's banished in the challenge. I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's not best on curve at the moment, but like I do think this is a really strong ability. Its ability doesn't speak to me as being uninkable. The uninkability does hurt. I'm mildly interested in this card. But you're probably right, being uninkable does super hurt. 1/3 stat line on her. Hey, in the deck that where you want to do damage to your own characters, then there's a strong chance that this is a part of it. This on 3 to shoot the 1/4 queen. I mean, yeah, that's pretty nice. That's probably the pyro, right? Yeah, because you get her damage on her straight away. She essentially challenges for 5 that turn. But do we need to hit for 5? I don't know. In the self-damage deck, I think this Mother Gothel, despite being uninkable, could be a part of it. I do think it's an interesting ability. Going on to Arna Magical Mission. Blurple, 6 cost inkable, 3/6 quest for 2. Shift 4, supports, and coordinated plan. Whenever this character quests, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you may draw a card. I hate wearing my headphones for too long, and all I'm listening to is the music, so I don't really need them on. Whenever this character quests, if you have a character named Elsa in play, you may draw a card. The fact that this is a Floodborn, so we could potentially shift, quest, draw the card immediately, makes this better. Pre-rotation, I don't see a place for this. I think we have too many better cards. Post-rotation, maybe. It depends. Like, again, it's super hard to assess post-rotation until we know what we're getting back. Because in current format, this is not anything spectacular. But depending on what we keep and what we get before and after rotation, this could be one of the better cards. It's definitely one of the better Arna Elsa cards overall. Like, for people that just want to build the Arna Elsa Frozen deck, then this is pretty good. Makes the Queen 5 power on 3. Yes, Jane, 100%. And I do like that Queen of Hearts as well. So yeah, I think I am interested in that Mother Gothel, like, tentatively. But yeah, this Arna, she's okay. She's not anything spectacular. Post-rotation, maybe there's a chance, depending on like what sort of power level the game is at. Pre-rotation, I don't think it's anything spectacular, but it's going to be one of the better cards in your Arna Elsa Frozen Fiend deck. Alright! The main man himself! Let's go! Let's go. The main man himself. I'm so excited, mate. I'm so excited. We've got Amethyst Steel Jafar, High Sultan of Lorcana. Let's go. And this is the set championship promo for set 8. My gold, I'm going to be doing some traveling. Set 8 and set 9. Jafar set 8, Maleficent set 9. What are they doing, man? What are they doing to me? Shout out to the 40 people up in here. If you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. I very much appreciate it. So, we got 5 cost uninkable, 4/4, quests for 3. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card. Then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character card is discarded this way, you may play that character for free. This is an incredible ability. Incredible ability. Bad sides. Uninkable. Yeah. Slow. You need to survive the turn, but 4/4 stat line is not bad. Falls to Zeus, and potentially strength for a Raging Fire by this point in the game. So pre-rotation, it's not the safest, but it avoids the common Ruby removal cards. Questing for 3 is fan-dabby-tastic. And then, yeah, just getting to draw discard, but that discard is, that if it's an illusion, you play it for free. That is huge. I'm hoping to get an Amethyst Genie Jafar. That would be something else. Although I do feel like Genie Jafar needs to be Ruby. So let's take a look at all the illusions that we currently have, or at least that are in Dreamborn. The old school ones, obviously Raja, 2-cost Inkable, 3/3 quest for 1. The Giant Cobra and Iago, who has Evasive. So playing like this Iago for free, pretty good. And then we talked about Palace Guard earlier. There's also the new Magic Carpet, who is an illusion, and your other illusion characters gain Challenger 1, and this quest for 2. We're not a big fan of the 2 strength because of Brawl, but post-rotation, maybe we won't have that problem. So these are the illusions, at least the ones that are in Dreamborn. So we can potentially discard any of these and play them for free. Obviously, Abu is a pretty high roll. Abu and Iago are going to be your main ones to go for here. Pre-rotation, this is nothing more than a fun deck, but a fun deck that, you know, you're going to have fun with at locals. And like maybe in a set championship run, if you have favourable matchups, who knows? Because playing cards for free is pretty goated. And he's questing for 3 here. And obviously, we also need to mention, if we're talking about illusions, the other Jafar, the last set that combos with illusions, the newly crowned, who during your opponent's turn, whenever one of your illusion characters is banished, you may return that card to your hand. Again, pre-rotation, this 2 strength, pretty unplayable, unfortunately. But post-rotation, if there is not a brawl, then this is slightly better. At the moment, I unfortunately think it's still a fun deck. But this is absolutely the boss monster of that fun deck, which, if they have got the answers, then you're absolutely going to win games here. Don't think it, no chance of it being meta before rotation. It's a fun deck. After rotation, I hope so. Let's put it that way. I really, 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 really hope so. Now we need a bodyguard illusion. That would be something else. That would be something else. So weird we haven't gotten a legendary Jafar this set yet. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, I'll tell you that much. Going on to Camilo Madrigal, 5-cost Inkable, 4/4 quest for 2. When this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. It's a nice stat line, 2 lore, nice ability. Pre-rotation, I very, very, very much doubt it. Post-rotation, maybe, depending on the power level of the game, because this is a strong set of effects and 2 lore. On an Inkable 5-cost, this is great in sealed, absolutely fantastic in sealed. In fact, this may be one of the best cards in sealed overall, to be honest. And I haven't finished looking at the card pool, but that's my first prediction. This is pretty good in sealed. Yeah, this is a good card, but I don't think it sees meta play before rotation. After rotation, depends on the power level of the game. Not going to talk about Flower. I've talked about Flower before. Forest Duel, 5-cost Inkable action. Your characters gain Challenger 2. And when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand this turn. Strong ability, 5-cost action, situational, not for me, unfortunately. The chat are not a believer in Camilo, but they do agree that it's a sealed finisher. Yeah, great card in sealed. Yeah, again, like before rotation, no chance this sees play. We have infinitely better cards, but again, it's just super hard to tell post-rotation, right? We've got Fantastical and Magical, 9-cost Uninkable, Sing Together 9. For each character that sang this song, draw a card and gain 1 lore. 9 1-drops, let's go. Draw 9, gain 9 lore. Hey, the theme of these Madrigals is quite clearly get a lot of them out. All of their abilities are to do with having other Madrigals on the board. At the moment, we don't have enough of a package. But if we get more powerful Madrigals, like the set championship Maribel, the one that quests for 5, but only if you control 5 other characters. Like I said before, what this needs is a character, a Madrigal that says this Madrigal counts as 3 Madrigals. We need things like that. And again, maybe there's just ways of like really spamming out a lot of cheap Madrigals, and in that deck, as a 1 or a 2 of, to be like a finisher. Because obviously, the high roll here is obviously bonkers. Like if you're singing this with 5, 6, 7, 8 characters, it's super hard to pull off. But who knows what the future's going to bring for the Madrigal deck? Like as we get more and more, it might become a lot more. Completely lost the word. It could be a bit more realistic that you can flood a bunch of Madrigals, especially if they get abilities that let you play them like from the discard, from the deck, things like that. So at the moment, this is not a meta card, but it's the sort of card that makes me think, One day, Madrigals could get, like, really busted, and then this card could be kind of scary. I've talked about Pull the Lever. I'm not going to talk about that one now. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. I've not seen Frozen in a long while, so I don't know if that was, that tune was accurate, but it's something like that. We're going to Blurple 3-cost Ingable Song. Put chosen exerted character into their player's inkwell face down and exerted. I think this is pretty good. I do think this is pretty good. Obviously not as flexible as a Let It Go. Because Let It Go is anything. The character has to be exerted. Excuse me. But I still think this is pretty good. Having an exerted character on board is not an unrealistic expectation. Obviously, like, if they play a character and then pass to you and you need to remove that character, otherwise they're going to quest for game next turn, then this doesn't help. You need, like, because they're not exerted yet. But I do think this is pretty interesting. You could, yeah, of course, you can also ramp yourself akin to something like a Let It Go. And that may be actually the more interesting way of doing it. Like, you target the character that sings it. That could be quite interesting. Maybe a bit slow. I think this is a pretty interesting card. Tap something down with Elsa on 5 and sing this with Rabbit or Crab or something. Yeah, there are definitely some pretty strong lines. I quite like this card off the bat. Does it have an immediate place in Blurple? I don't know, chat. What do you think? Are you believers? They'll sing this on 2 to ink herself. Big brain plays. Yeah, I guess if you really, really want. Yes, I got the high roll bell. Well, let's get rid of her. Yeah. Interesting. What do you think of this card, chat? I mean, instinctively, I feel that this is pretty good. If this was a tier list, my guess would be like low A tier, high B tier. I think this is interesting. We've got Scarab. Ah, this is an illusion-based card. Let's go. The chat thinks so. 2-cost uninkable item. Exert and pay 2 ink. Return an illusion character card from your discard to your hand. I feel like this highly likely has a place in that illusion deck where they're getting banished naturally. We're discarding them with Jafar. But to be fair, if you're discarding them with Jafar, you're playing it for free. But maybe we're a whole new wheel. Maybe we are a whole new world variant of Amethyst Steel illusions. And in which case this becomes infinitely better. Outside of wheel decks, you probably just play one of these. I think this is probably a one-off. I'd have about 4 of, but definitely a couple. What of the Into the Unknown or of this Scarab? I think both are reasonable. But yeah, any card that synergizes with illusions, I'm all about. Yo Jeremy is not a fan of the Scarab. He's not ready. He's not here for it. All right, I see you, buddy. We got Ice Spikes, 2-cost Ingable Blurple item. When you play this item, exert chosen opposing character, and it's stuck. Exert and pay 1. Exert chosen opposing item. It can't ready at the start of the next turn. This kind of does nothing if you play the 4-cost Steel Amethyst Jafar. Yeah, for sure. I think its place is more realistically like if you're playing like a wheel variant. What do we think of this card? The secondary ability to freeze an item can be relevant for things like dying, of course. Maybe stop their Fishbone Quill from ramping them too much. Second part of the ability is it's entirely dependent on the meta of items, which pre-rotation, I don't think it's too niche. Obviously freezing dime's okay, but I don't think you play this just for that. But playing this to exert chosen opposing character, like the exert ability is good, and if you've got a reason to play items anyway, if you're playing Bell, things like that. Like, does Blurple like this at all? I'm not convinced. Pretty bad top. This one I can get behind, but it depends on if it's an item meta. Yeah, this lives and dies by the meta that it's living in. It's an interesting card. I'm not ready to commit to saying it's a good card right off the bat. But there's there's enough here to be interesting depending on how our meta ends up looking. And is that all of the Amethyst cards? I do believe it to be true. So we are going to do at least one more ink tonight, maybe 2. See how we feel. What shall we look at next, my villains? Which ink next? No, that was a Q&A. I don't want a Q&A, I want a poll. I want a poll. Which ink next? Emerald. We'll put Sapphire. We'll put Amber. And we'll put Steel. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's all problem-free philosophy. Back in a minute. Be a mighty king, so enemies beware. Well, I've never seen a king or beasts with quite so little hair. Wanna be the main event like no king was before. Brushing up, I'm looking down, I'm working on my raw. Thus far, a rather uninspiring thing. Dum, dum, dum. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. The art on Stitch Enchanted goes wild. I have seen that Enchanted. It is kind of pretty crazy. It is kind of pretty sort of crazy. 16 votes, 50% of the votes going to Emerald. So we're going to call it there. That's good enough for me. Emerald, the undisputed winner. Congratulations on Casting World. You deserve it. Thank you very much, Sean. Genuinely. I'm still kind of... Part of me feels like it's an illusion world, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to fully believe it until I'm there. I need to be in country. And I've also been warned by a lot of American friends that there's like a 1% chance that they just don't let me in just because whichever officer I meet is just having a bad day. So once I'm there, I'll feel a lot more secure that I got the gig. But thank you so much. I genuinely really appreciate the support from everybody. Honestly, the reaction to the video I did the other day was overwhelming. Far exceeded anything I expected. So super grateful for that, guys. Very much so. Good to see the energy is still good tonight. Of course, you earned it, honestly. Well, I'm very grateful, James Lundy. Thank you so much, mate. And again, a shout out to Player Zero, who earlier on gifted out a bunch of memberships. I'm not even sure how many. It might have been 5, it might have been 10. I might just go to my dashboard and double check. Let's have a look. See all members. Damn, son. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Including themselves, so 8. 8 have I count? Can I count? I might not be able to count, guys. There's a chance I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. I was right. I can't count. 11. Guys, I'm losing the plot. 11 gifted memberships from Zero. That's pretty crazy. Shonadog gets so much in set 8. Gets like 3. Yeah, Lady and Tramp are busted, mate. Someone in the head office is a Lady and the Tramp fan. This is not in English, but I want to do the voice line. We've got Wilhelma Packard. She's from Atlantis, I can't remember. Oh, it's a conversation they're having. Helga. It has a metallic sound. Maybe it's an echo from the rocks. You want to do my job, Blondie? Be my guest. I think that was pretty good. I can do that one okay. Anyway, she's a 3-cost 3/4. Nothing to say here. Why are we still talking about this? Look at this Basil. Look at him. Look at him. Look at the undercover detective. I do like Basil, if you didn't know. 7 cost. My back gold, Basil. What you been doing? You've been in the gym. He's a 5/4 quest for 2 in Incapacitate. Yes. When you play this character, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. Pretty good ability. And interfere whenever this character quests, chosen opponent discards a card at random. He does have the drip. This Basil is drippy as heck. This is kind of interesting. Like, I'm not seeing a world where we're playing it before rotation. And it is super duper expensive. I'd love it to be a Floodborn. It's probably too expensive is my immediate guess, but these are a couple of pretty good abilities. But I don't think he's going to make the cut, unfortunately, but very, very dapper. Next up, we've got Tramp, Observant Guardian, 3 cost Ingable, 3/3 quest for 1. How do I get in? When you play this character, chosen character gains ward into the start of your next turn. Pretty good ability. We do like giving ward. Obviously, there's things like Alice, who gives ward. Also built into questing, though, and also gives extra lore. But if there's a character that's important enough to protect, and you can wait until turn 3 to do it, assuming it will be your 2 cost. I don't know. We have other tramps, right? This one is inkable. This ability's okay. I'm not blown away. Yeah, we've got the 2 cost tramp here, so this is always our shift target. Giving ward is, and it's it's another tramp, right? You can play more tramps to be a shift target for either the tramp that we've been playing with for a while, the Street Smart Dog, but we're also getting this Dapper Rascal. Let's look at the Dapper Rascal right now while we're here. 6 cost Ingable, 2/8, quest for 2, shift 4. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. This one is fantastic. This card is so freaking good. It's obviously a lot worse before rotation because of the 2 strength. But even then, like, you probably still play a copy or 2 and just make them have it, right? Because you shift and you immediately quest. So even if he is banished, then it's not like he did nothing. And the potential card draw here is crazy. And if they play a B-Prep, then he's going to see it. And I think you draw for each card. Whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. I think you would draw for each character removed as well. Like, if you've got this on board with 3 characters, whatever, and they play B-Prep, or even Sisu, then you still draw for this. I think this is busted. I think this is really, really good. Like, Shernadog winning worlds at this point. Like, if you think Shernadog winning worlds is already a pretty reasonable statement, then just type 1. I just want to see something. Just type 1 if you think that Shernadog winning worlds is a reasonable statement to make at the moment. I just want to see something. So maybe you play this tramp just because you want extra tramps to shift onto, and this ability is not bad. I would like questing for 2, really. But as an extra tramp goes to be a shift target, then I think fine. He's okay. Next up, we got the March Hare. Big fan of this boy. 4 cost Ingable, 3/4, quest for 1. Light the candles. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. Damaged matter deck. He's not great. I love the March Hare. I don't think this is good enough, unfortunately. The chat are seemingly agreeing. I'm seeing some 1s. They think it's a fair statement. We got Dale, 1 cost, 1/3. Not a lot to say here other than the fact that 1/3s are not irrelevant. So who knows? Maybe this becomes your 1/3 of choice. And we've got Chip, Quick Thinker. 4 cost Ingable, 3/2, quest for 1, and I'll handle this. When you play this character, chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Not bad. In a discard deck, like on curve after Prince John. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, this bad boy. I think this is okay. Is it better than the, like, it's like Friar Tuck is our foot. There's like a Friar Tuck and a Daisy Duck, I think, are the 4 cost Emerald discards stuff. Daisy. Yeah, so this one's built to questing. But there's another one which is when you play her, isn't there? I know there's a Friar Tuck, obviously. You play this character, the player with the... Yeah. The player with the most cards in their hand discards. But he quests for 2, so that's a big difference there. I swear there's another. There's Arna, obviously, but you have to pay more ink for that. What is it? Is there not a... Yeah, it's this amber one. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards a card. There's an amber daisy. There we go. That's it. Michael was there for me. I'm glad I got there just in time. I knew I wasn't crazy. So, yeah, it's alright. Like, maybe the 3 strength is more important to us than the 2 lore. And again, Friar Tuck is not a sure draw either. It depends on who's got the most cards. But good for sealed, and who knows. It's not bad as far as discard goes. Next up, we got another legendary rare, Infiltration Expert. 6 cost inkable, 5/5, quest for 2, and unconventional tactics. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 2 ink to ready another chosen character. Please note the lack of text saying that character may not quest or challenge for the rest of the turn. No conditions. It's basically you came back, the Emerald action, uninkable, 3 cost. Slow is also what this is. 5/5 stat line. Questing for 2. Pre-rotation falls to Zeus. It's one of the only immediate answers to it, outside of like a B-prep, something like that. Other than that, kind of hard to remove. 6 cost is not unreasonably expensive. Like, I think if this was 7, it would be far too much, but 6 is okay for a big turn 7. But obviously it also comes down to what that other character is doing. Maybe they're just questing again, and maybe that's fine. Like, if you put down a 5 cost character that quests for 3 or 4, play this on 6, and then on turn 7 quest, then quest this, pay 2. Oh no, because you need nothing. Yeah, no, yeah, on 7. Yeah, so on 7 you quest your 5 cost character, then you quest this, you pay your 2 ink, re-ready the other character that was questing for 3 or 4. So there's some really nice lore jumps here. And again, if they've got abilities that trigger when they ready, we've already looked at a couple of those today. Maybe it's based on gaining lore from challenging. There is is it Farzu, who, if you make multiple challenges, you can gain lore. So maybe you're just re-readying to challenge, but there are plenty of other cards that let you re-ready characters and say that you can't quest. Yeah, just that you can't quest. So I don't know. I think this is kind of good. I think this is kind of interesting. I think there's definitely some good combos available here, and the fact that this is inkable 5, but like it's got the right stats to warrant an ability that's actually kind of slow. Thank you so much, Jay Bruce, for becoming a villain, becoming a member, villain tier. A huge shout out to you, Jay, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Mind blown by the support on the channel the last few days, especially. Yeah, just can't say enough. Just super, super grateful for absolutely everyone up in here that's supporting. Do please hit the like button for me if you haven't already. It helps hugely. But shout out to you, Jay. Yeah, I quite like this Raya. What we're saying, chat? Are we Raya fans? Do we think there's like serious potential here? Reminds me of the red Raya. It does similar but can't quest. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely her thing. But maybe you're not playing Ruby. Like if you're playing Ruby Emerald, then this one seems better if you just want to re-ready so that you can challenge or use exert abilities. But if you're wanting to just quest big, then obviously this is the one. I quite like this Raya. I think this is quite interesting. A lot of people keep mentioning about the combo with Mufasa. I'm still not a Mufasa believer. I'm just gonna say it. A powerful ability on a bad card is my opinion, and that's based on the unink ability is a lot of it and just being too expensive. I'd love to be proved wrong. I'd love to see Mufasa find a home. I think if this Raya is playable, I don't think Mufasa's the partner. I think there's something spicier going on here, and it's going to be built into exert abilities. Or just big questers. I quite like this Raya. She's interesting. I've talked about this Rapunzel already. Before rotation, she's awful. After rotation, if we don't have Brawl, then there is a chance. The stat line's pretty good. She's a bit expensive. But the questing for 2 evasive and this ability is not insignificant. Post-rotation, there's a chance. It depends what we've got. Next up, we've got Flynn Rider, breaking and entering. 4-cost uninkable, 1/4, quest for 3. And this is a very big day. That hurt my feelings. I'm very sorry, Mad Catter, because I said I don't like Mufasa. I'm sorry. Excuse me. This is a very bad day. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player may choose and discard a card. If they don't, you gain 2 lore. Terrible before rotation, obviously. After rotation, maybe. Uninkable, hurts. 4 is not unreasonably expensive. The 3 lore just for questing. And then if you're gaining another 2 lore just because they challenged you, I mean, they're going to discard a card as much as possible. They don't want you getting 5 lore out of this 4-cost character, right? They'd rather discard a card, but maybe it's their last card. Or maybe you have a Prince John on the board, so you're drawing more cards. Terrible before rotation, after rotation. This could be pretty scary, I'm not going to lie. The Dormouse, the next card. Yes, it is. Dormouse, easily agitated. I'm a big fan of the Dormouse again. I've got a big a very sentimental spot for Alice in Wonderland in general. My granddad read it to me when I was a young boy. It's one of my earliest memories. And my granddad was not a theatre kid or anything like that. He served in the Royal Navy and was part of the London Fire Brigade. Bit of a man's man, like, and grew up like a long time ago. So he was very much a man's man, but I remember when I was young, he read me Alice in Wonderland, put on voices for all the characters, and it's a bit of a core memory. So I'm a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, and Mad Hatter's my favourite, and so and this Dormouse is associated with the Mad Hatter.
This tea is strong, even if he isn't.
Who's he? Jafar? Okay, I take it all back. I hate you, Dormouse. 2-cost Stinkable 1/2, Emerald Ruby card. Very rude indeed. When you play this character, you may put 1 damage counter on chosen character. Damage matters decks. This seems really good. No condition that they already have to have damage on them. You just have to play this inkable 2-cost character. And maybe we're setting up. Like, we've talked about damage matters decks loads in the past. There's a lot of Emerald cards that really care about it. There's a Scar that lets you draw when you challenge a damaged character. Yeah, whenever one of your characters challenges a damaged character, you may draw a card. That's good. There's Hyenas. Again, they're not great, but their whole deal is based on damage. Who's the main one? Shenzi, I think. No, not Shenzi. Challenging a damaged character, you get +2 strength. Damaged characters can't challenge this character. +1 strength for each hyena. But yeah, whenever one of your hyena characters challenges a damaged character, gains 2 lore. Yeah, Shenzi's the boss monster of this. So yeah, a damage matters deck. Whether you want the damage on your opponent or you want it on yourself, I think this Dormouse is 100% going to be a part of that sort of deck. Next up, we've got Alice, clumsy as can be. I was super happy. I woke up this morning and I saw that this was Kim's reveal. Kim being the fiance of Kawa, famous from Podkana. Friends of the channel, wonderful people, wonderful content creators, wonderful players. And I know that she will not be offended. Fingers crossed. I know that she will not be offended when I say that this card was perfect for Kim. And not because she's actually... I've never seen her be clumsy in my life. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I have no evidence to suggest this. But this is just kind of perfect for her. Clumsy as can be. Ruby, Emerald, Dual Link. 6-cost Inkable, 2/6. Quest for 2. Shift 3. And Accident Prone. Whenever this character quests, put 1 damage counter on each other character. Bag gold. So we're a Floodborn. We don't have that many Alices, is the crime of it. Absolute crime. There's this Amethyst, yeah, so let's just not even look at the ones that aren't in Emerald and Ruby. Where are our Alices? We have none in Emerald Ruby. None. You've got to think we're getting one in this set, right? Has it already been revealed and I just haven't seen it yet? Is there an Alice to come? It was also her birthday. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Is there a cheaper Alice already revealed that I haven't seen? You've got to think we're getting one, right? Because if they've just given us this really interesting, cool Floodborn Alice... We just got one, did we? Where? I want to see it. Where's the Alice? Where can I find her? Where can I find said Alice? Give it to me. Okay, I'm seeing a 4-cost Ruby Alice. Translation. When you play this character, choose one of your characters with 1 damage or more and ready them. That character can't quest for the rest of the turn. 4 cost is too expensive though. Like, is there a cheaper one? Tell me there's a cheaper one, guys. Tell me there's a cheaper one. You talking about the 4 cost? Are y'all talking about the 4 cost? Because that's unacceptable! That was not planned, but worked out pretty well. Oh, mate, that's such a shame. Surely we're getting a cheaper one, mate. Surely we're getting a cheaper one. That's unacceptable. I need a 2 or a 3. I need a 2 or a 3 cost. Like, come on. Yeah, this is interesting in a Damage Matters deck. Again, we still don't know how good that deck is. Probably not meta, would be my guess. But good to see those sort of cards. There was always more. Yo, are we back? Chat, are we back? That's a good point. You are right, Fliglofe. There's always more. Chat, are we back? Are we back? This person is right. This person is absolutely right. There is always more. And it's on curve. Are we back? Because there's quite a lot of Ruby. There's a few, like there's this Queen of Hearts, who's a Floodborn. Can we just have like a Morph Box deck? And by always, it means for the next 3 months. Yeah, well, I mean, like, we're good with next 3 months, Mask Up. We take it. That's World's format, mate. We're not ignoring it. Chat, are we back? Are we back? Is Morph enough? I want to see a cheaper Alice. I need to see a cheaper Alice, even when we get one. Hey, let's be realistic. This isn't great, but it's fun. And I'll take fun. We've got an Emerald Sapphire Hero Hamada. Love this art. 2 cost Sad Beast, never got one on curve. You're right. 2 cost Ingable, 1/3, quest for 1. Yeah, but Sad Beast was really, really good, right? Like, what's the max roll with this Emerald Ruby Alice? Like, here, it sets up... It's a pretty strong ability, and it's going to help set things up, but... Alice Beast Tragic Hero looks at this Alice and says, we are not the same. We are not the same. But you still make a good point. Anyway, look for a new angle. Exert ready chosen Floodborn character. You can quest again, you can challenge again, you can use an exert ability again. Has the background music gotten loud, has it? I will turn it down some more. I've just turned the music down a little bit more. It's gone now. Oh. Well, I just turned it down a little bit. Let me know if I need to adjust it anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, anytime you can ready a character and they have the restrictions, I don't know, this is kind of interesting. Like, it's cheap. Like, you just put it down and you just let it sit there until the turn you can take advantage of it. Kick Cloud Kicker on 1 and 3. Yeah, that's one of the immediate combos. I think this is an interesting part of what is likely to be a fun deck at most. This is not a meta card, but in a fun Emerald Sapphire deck with a lot of Floodborns, with morphs and stuff. It got very dramatic and loud, but figured the mood suited it. Okay, I see. Let me double check then. Seems reasonable now. Let me know if it needs to change. Yeah, this is a part of a fun deck, nothing more, unfortunately. But in that fun deck, hey, cool. Next up, we got Don Carnage, Air Pirate Leader, 3 cost uninkable, 3/2, quest for 1, evasive. He's a pirate. I'm hoping for green steel rotation, set 9. Get your Pete now. Well, we shall see under the sea. And Scornful Taunt. Whenever you play an action that isn't a song, chosen opposing character gains reckless during their next turn. So this has very much become the Emerald Steel Pirate identity as of late. that they want you to play actions that are not songs. Select these. Yeah, so there's this Grunage. You can play actions cheaper. You can banish an item. This Donald lets you return actions that aren't songs to your hand. This Mr. Smee lets you ready pirates. So there are a bunch of pirates that do similar things. So if you are building entirely around that archetype, then here is a 3-cost uninkable, but it has evasive, and for playing that action that isn't a song, you can give reckless. So since it can't be a song, the sooner you can get that ability off is on turn 4. If you play this on 3 and then on turn 4 you play an action that isn't a song. And we've got things like Boom at the moment, Fire the Cannons obviously, and weirdly enough, post-rotation there was a card revealed by Steadfast the other day in Emerald or Steel, one or the other. It's a 1-cost uninkable. No, it might be 2 cost. It's Let the Storm Rage on. It's Baby Let the Storm Rage on. It draws a card and you do 1 damage to something, but on an action. We just got another pirate action not long ago. So yeah, so there's quite a few things that combo with this. So yeah, he's mildly interesting. The evasive is okay. Being uninkable kind of hurts. Maybe there's a Bloodborne, Don Carnage, Emerald Steel. Did you see the hamster ball reveal? Of course I did. Of course I saw JDZ's legendary reveal. We got Captain Hook, which was my card reveal, so I'm not going to talk about him. Feel free to go back and watch the review video to hear my full thoughts. And next up we have Maui Stubborn Trickster. 6-cost uninkable, 4/4, quest for 3, and I'm not finished yet. Quick Shot, that's the one I was talking about, Jay Bruce. Yeah, that's actually one of the better actions that isn't a song for Emerald Steel. Obviously it's uninkable, but it could go in that archetype. There's also Mosquito Bite, which just does 1 damage to something. Anyway, when this character is banished, choose 1. Put 2 damage counters on all opposing characters. So, instant grab swords. Banish all opposing items. Or banish all opposing locations. I think this is pretty good. For Emerald Steel. It's inkable. It's got the right sort of stat line that I'm looking for. And again, even if we are immediately banished, then that's kind of the long game here. If they don't banish us, great. I'd love to sit here and keep questing for 3. But inevitably, it is going to be banished. I'm glad that it doesn't have to be during a specific turn, just wherever like you could set this off prematurely, potentially. Banish, and like this is a nice diverse set of effects, right? Like if locations are optimal at all, then it's nice to have. If there are a lot of items in format, and this is a fantastic way to be able to deal with them. And 2 damage on all opposing characters. We know how strong that can be if they've got a nice whiteboard. Obviously, it's a little slow. You have to be able to banish this card. So if you play this on 6, maybe you've got a song, which involves banishing one of your own characters, which there aren't many of. Like there's Most Diabolical Scheme, but that has to be a villain. But you can banish any character. So like there are ways to set this up quicker than 6. Realistically, it's probably like turn 7, you just ram it into something, you trade with something, and then get the ability off. Really, I think you're probably just going to be sticking this Maui questing and saying, hey, when you're ready to deal with me, I'll do 2 damage to all your guys. So it can be played around to a degree, but for an inkable quest for 3 card, this is pretty strong. It's meta dependent, right? It's going to be depending on how wide metas are going, and if our deck struggles into those go wide boards, and are items and locations relevant. This is one of the better cards that we've seen though, but the meta needs to be right for it to be warranted, I think. But the quest for 3 is always good, so, and being inkable, you can justify it that bit more. So I very much like the Maui. Honey Lemon Costume Catalyst, Emerald Sapphire, 4-cost inkable, 3/3 quest for 2. And let's do this. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, if you used Shift to play them, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. This is pretty spicy. I'd love Ward on this, but maybe that's too good. But just don't turn it sideways right until you're winning the game, because the 2 lore is also nice to have. But if you're playing a full-on Floodborn themed deck, then this is one of the better support cards, I would say. We looked at that Hero Hamada earlier where you can ready a Floodborn character, which is also good. But the tempo this could provide you to just be bouncing characters back to your opponent's hand. And let's, out of interest, take a quick look at Emerald, Sapphire. Because there's the Hero Hamada from last set, the set championship one, this one, which just has a busted ability. Your Floodborn characters that have a card under them gain evasive and ward. This is insane. This is an insane ability. Absolutely crazy. We've obviously got the Baymax. And I think there's a couple more maybe still to talk about. Is there enough there? Not sure. But this is a pretty nice support card for that package. Inkable 4 cost is not bad. 3/3 is a pretty nice stat line. Before rotation, it's just a fun deck, but a fun deck that is gaining some cool pieces to actually make it, you know, semi-viable. So for off meta, it could have a place. We've got Jock, Attentive Uncle. Fidget, are you still watching? Are you still watching, Fidge? Look at this good boy. 4 cost Inkable, 3/4, quest for 1, and Voice of Experience. Ah, oh, bless him. Selling you wee pops, and let Uncle Jack tell you a story about some Lumineers and a mad adventure. I feel like he's Scottish, actually. Is he meant to be Scottish? Selling you wee pops, and let Uncle Jack tell you a story about some Lumineers and a mad adventure. I don't do a very Scottish accent, straight up. Anyway, when you play this character, if you have 3 or more characters in play, oh, this was Lorcana Goons reveal. The Goons. I was so happy to see Lorcana Goons get a reveal. It's so overdue. So overdue. Love that they had to add the if you shifted it so it's not Bucky's effect all over again. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Sherna Dog loves this. When you play this character, if you have 3 or more characters, play gain 2 lore. Yeah. I feel like Sherna Dog really likes this card straight off the bat. This seems pretty cool. Do they have room? Do they make room? I feel like this is a Sherna Dog card. I am a bit of a fan. Oh, and my camera started lagging a little bit, so I think we're just going to get to the end of the Emerald cards, and then we're halfway through, and then we do the other half like tomorrow. But put in your requests right now. If there's any cards that have been revealed that you absolutely want me. He's a Scottish Terrier. Yeah, I thought so. But like I noticed like the breed. I was like, oh, he's probably Scottish. But yeah, that makes sense. Get so much next set. So yeah, we're just going to go to the end of the Emerald cards. But if there are any other cards from the inks that we haven't looked at that you desperately want me to take a look at before we finish up today, then get your requests in and maybe we will do so. Gone to Archimedes, Resourceful Owl, confirmed to be very pivotal to the Arcasia's Island storyline. 3 cost Inkable, 2/2, quest for 2. You don't need that. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. And, excuse me, and now that's not bad. During your turn, whenever an item is banished, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. So if we've got cards that are banishing our own items, then we've got a little draw discard engine going here. Just the 3 cost banish an item on play is like not an insignificant ability. It rides the Avenger, and I think there's another 3 cost Emerald card still to come, which is an exact Avenger clone with the 2/3 stat line. And I think you would probably play that other one over this, unless you are playing an item deck where you are doing a lot of self-banishing. So that's probably about it. Look at Enchanted Stitch. We will look at Enchanted Stitch before the end. You got it. So I think this is like not a bad card at all, but I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, because I think there's another 3 cost Inkable character in a 3 cost Inkable 2/3 quest for 2 that banishes an item on play. And I think if I'm right, then you would play that most of the time unless you are an item deck and you can really take advantage of the secondary ability. And then we have the next part of the Wrong Lever storyline depicted in our Wrong Lever! Choose one, return chosen character to their player's hand. Inkable Mother Knows Best. Yes, this is not a song. We prefer this, I think. I think we prefer Inkable Action Mother Knows Best to uninkable actual Mother Knows Best. But you could also have a different ability. You can put a Pull the Lever card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. put chosen character on the bottom of their owner's deck. That is a pretty strong ability. Let's remind ourselves of Pull the Lever, where you either draw 2 cards or each opponent chooses and discards a card. If we don't get friends back, then this 100% sees play in Emerald Amethyst. 100%. If we get friends, it might still see play. If we are a discard variant, it's nice to have this variance. But yeah, if you've played one of them, then this is a 3-cost action. Lets you put that, pull the lever from me discard at the bottom of your deck, to then just bottom an opposing character. That's pretty good, and in some cases is going to be better than banishing if they have any sort of synergies, like putting a Mufasa to the bottom of their deck. Pretty spicy. If they're running anything like Sherna Dog or any card, any sort of deck that cares about the discard, then you would much rather put it on the bottom of their deck. I think this is kind of interesting. If you are playing for Pull the Levers, maybe this is a one-off. Like, is that reasonable? If we lose friends and Pull the Lever becomes a 4-of in Emerald Amethyst, is it reasonable to play one of these? Maybe more, because even if you don't have the Pull the Lever, you still have the bounce ability. I think this is pretty good. Am I coping? Chat, am I coping? Start poll. Start poll. Wrong lever. Not terrible. Agreed. Let's find out. You either agree with me or I'm coping. Because I love Pull the Lever. I think it's a fun bit of a very fun Disney movie. Don't jinx me taking Mufasa to set champs tomorrow. Yo, big up. Aiming for the mat next this time. I have the card already. Well, good luck to you, Mad Catter. Good luck to you. Let me know, guys. Am I coping? Just started a poll. I think this is kind of interesting. I'm just saying. And now we've got Under Mime. I talked about this earlier when we were looking at the Ruby cards. We've got Chem Purse or Chem Per Se. Here's the best part. Whenever you play a character, if you used Shift to play them, they get +4 strength this turn. +4 strength is a lot of tomatoes. Maybe in that fun version of your Floodborn Emerald Sapphire deck. I don't think this is a great card, but if you just want to play all in on the Floodborn variant and you're more about theming than actual meta cards, then I'm sure this card will serve you well. Most people think I'm coping. It's a bit of a split. And that is all of the Emerald cards. So I think there was one request for me to take a look at the Enchanted Stitch. Has the Enchanted Stitch been added to the Mushu report? Give you the long and the short. Darling dear. Oh, bless her. Where is the Enchanted Stitch? Here we go. Okay. So, full admittance, this card is bleeding beautiful. This will absolutely be a chase card for many, many people. We've got Stitch, Experiment 626. Sapphire, 3-cost uninkable, 3/3, quest for 2. We've got So Naughty. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell face down and exerted. Opponent. This does not ramp you. It's just opponents. On play, top card of their deck into their inkwell. So we are ramping our opponent just for playing this. That's not a good thing. I think we can all agree. It can be okay if it's like a Hades or a Let It Go, and we are interfering with the board or disrupting the board or whatever, or even maybe a card from their hand. The potential for them to be annoyed by that. But this is essentially free ramp, and that's not good. But then we have Stealth Mode. At the start of your turn, if this character is in your discard, you may choose and discard a card with ink, with the Inkable Flourish, to play him for free, and he enters play exerted. But please note that playing him for free this way will also trigger So Naughty. This card is beautiful. It's a really interesting ability. Please don't come after me when I tell you. I think it absolutely sucks. It's uninkable. We're ramping our, like, and hey, maybe we never play it, like, from our hand. Maybe we discard it with something and then we only play it back from the discard. But we potentially ramp our opponent multiple times. The fact that you have to discard an inkable card, so we can't even, like, we can't even use this to unclog our uninkables and, like, make use of them, really hurts this. I don't mind it coming into play exerted. Obviously, it's akin to Lilo, where if they don't have enough characters to answer this Stitch, and it sticks a lot long enough to quest for 2, then good job. And the fact that it's a 3/3, it's a little trickier to remove. But I think being uninkable and the card that you're discarding have to have the inkable flourish, and the fact that we're ramping our opponent. Guys, I am not a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. It's probably the community's least favourite thing about me, I've discovered. It's just not a film that did it for me that much. But this is beautiful. Like, full, like, no cap. This is an awesome, cool card. But it just so happens to be absolute garbage. And those of you that just want this card in your collection should feel very, very relieved about that. So I think that's everything. Totally chasing for this card purely for the art. Also Stitch. Yeah, I know Stitch is a super popular character and more power to you. I'm just being honest. It's not really one of my favourites. Y'all know my favourite sort of Disney films and characters. I'm happy for someone else to claim this card. But this art is super, super cool. Like, no denying at all. But I think the ability is hot garbage, unfortunately. Super interesting. With the movie coming out, this card makes sense. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, I think we'd get some new Stitch cards anyway. But yeah, those of you that just want to collect this card should be super grateful for that. This is probably really garbage. It's still going to be worth a lot just because it's like, it's Stitch, and Stitch is super popular, and this artwork is really, really cool. But yeah, that is Ruby, Amethyst, and Emerald all done. My camera's starting to lag, which I've discovered happens after using it for too long, which is an issue and something that I want to fix, but it's one of those things. And we will probably do another live stream in the next week, maybe 2 days, maybe 4 days, maybe 7 days, but in the next week, where we will do the rest. And of course, there'll be more Ruby, Fire Art, terrible ability. I agree, Yo Jeremy. But yeah, we will do the rest of the cards in a future stream. End the stream off with a bang. Thank you so much, James Lundy. Honestly, like, every penny helps so much to be able to keep the channel going, and like, really does mean the world to me. Honestly, I will never understate people being prepared, no pun intended, and willing to support on that level. It really does mean the world. And a huge shout out to Player Zero earlier again for giving out, I think, 10 gifted subs. Ink Geyser and Ben combo with Stitch. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's some like super niche, like 20 card combos in the exaggeration, but you get my point. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't think it's a great card. Any last minute, we simply have to talk about it cards that we just want to quickly mention. Like, some of these cards I've read once. Yeah, Fred, this is the Emerald card I was talking about. The one that's just Benja. 3 cost inkable, 2/3 quests for 2. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Yeah, I think you would play that over the owl, unless the owl's secondary ability is something that we really, really care about. But we've done an awful lot. Oh, they've even got the high quality image for the iconic. You'll have to see it. I can't wait to see what this Mickey Mouse does. But a huge shout out to everybody that came out for the stream tonight. Hugely appreciate it, and it's a weight off my shoulders to get through some of these card reveals. Today I uploaded the Art of Jafar from the Lorcana Artist main stage. I was aware that it wasn't going to be the most popular of videos, but wanted to put it up for people that missed it and have a specific interest in the art, because I think the art from this set has been incredible. Tomorrow you'll be getting round 2 of the the Content Creator Set Championship that I attended a couple of weeks ago. Round 1, I was able to win against Emerald, Amethyst, Diablo, Discard. And round 2, I am up against Harlan Sweet. And I'll tell you what, I will give you, the people, a little teaser. A little tease. A little tease of what you can expect in tomorrow's video. Would you like that, son? Bear with me. Everyone go brr. That's how you bear with me. Where is it? Where is it? I must find you. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Let's type in this to find what I am looking for. Yeah, on. Where are you? Where are you, lad? What did I call you? I know that your powers of retention are the warthog's backside. But thick as you are, pay attention. My words are a matter of pride. It's clear from your vacant expression. The lights are not all on upstairs. But we're talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. Where have you gone, mate? I've lost it. I've completely lost it. Maybe I can't show a teaser. Maybe I'm going to have to wait for tomorrow. Maybe. Oh, I found it. I found it. I've only got to found it, governor. I only went and bleeding found it. Right, hold on. It's probably going to be an anticlimax because I'm going to show you the smallest bit. But hopefully... You hear Brett, he's pointing. Alright, there we go. Let's put that on. And let me quickly put up a screen capture. Add source. So when you hear Brent say that, that's my fault. Let's get into it.
Welcome.
I'm gonna leave it there. That's all you get. That's all you get. That is all you get as a teaser for the video that is coming tomorrow. It is me versus Harlan Sweet round 2, the Content Creator Set Championship, with guest casters Garrick's Lorcana Lair and Brent, a top 64 Lorcana player, also a content creator and a voice actor, someone I respect an awful lot. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone for coming out. Watch out for that video tomorrow. I think that's pretty much everything. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and we'll see you soon.